Well, hi folks, this is a continuation of this allotment question and answer thing that's going around YouTube, where there's a set of 10 questions that everyone's got here. Various channels on YouTube, and people are getting asked to answer these questions and then nominate another person or a couple of people who've got gardening channels and the like to answer the same questions. So it's just getting people used to other channels and stuff, and publicising other people's channels and letting people know the answers to the questions. So here we go. I'll just try and answer some of these questions. Number one, how long have you had your allotment for? I think I started in, I've had my polytunnel up for 15 years, and I think I had my first bit of garden about 5 years before that, before I put my polytunnel up. So I would say about 20 years. Yeah, probably 20 years. How long did you have to wait for your allotment? Well, luckily, mine's not actually an allotment like a council allotment. It's actually a bit of land that my folks owned when they used to keep livestock and horses and things. So I just pinched a bit of that, pinched the corner bottom bit of it. So I was lucky that I didn't have to wait for an allotment. We already had a little bit of land, so I didn't have to wait, thankfully. Number three, where did you learn about gardening? Purely trial and error. When we got this bit of land, I used to be a golfist. I used to try and play a bit of golf. So I thought, oh, I'll just fence a bit of this field off and I'll try and make a putting green out of it, of all things. So I did that. Put all this fancy grass down, mowed it, realised I put the wrong grass down. Grass used to grow about 6 inches a day in summer. Couldn't use it as a putting green, so I thought, sod this, I'm going to have to do something with it. So I dug it all up. I thought I'm going to grow a few bits of veg. Never done it in my life before. Bought that vegetable gardening expert book by Dr. whoever he's called. Had a look at that. I thought, right, I'll just plant a few carrots and a few lettuces. This was about the middle of summer. Not thinking anything had happened. Come September, had a few measly little carrots, about so big, and an odd little lettuce, but I was absolutely thrilled to bits because I've never grown anything in my life before apart from cress on a windowsill or something. So that's where I learnt, just trial and error. I just tried a bit, bought that book, and then I used that book over the few years from that initial time, and then I just started to learn how to do it by trial and error, really, just trying stuff. And then learning out of the books, because that's before the internet was there and YouTube and all that sort of stuff. So trial and error, just using the basic books and seeing what worked. Number four, do you plant a winter garden? I don't plant a specific winter garden, it's just so wet and wild up at my place. I've got a few bits and pieces in, I've still got the kale in, a few Savoy cabbages, I'll leave me parsnips and carrots in the ground. But apart from that, I don't do anything specifically for winter because, like I said, it's just too wild up there. And after this storm we've had, I haven't been up since then, so I would imagine there'll be nothing left anyway. It'll either be waterlogged or blown away. So I don't really have a winter garden as such. What's been your biggest success this year or ever? This year, probably just getting a decent crop because it's been such a foul summer, lack of sunshine, wet and cold and horrible. So there's just been a success managing to get a reasonable set of veg out this year. Ever, what's your biggest success ever? Probably I'd put it down to some of my show growing antics, and coming sort of third in a national championship for carrots is my best success. But what will be my biggest success hopefully next year is if I get a £10 onion, because I'm trying that again. That's one thing I've just been trying to do for years. It's an obsession of mine, but you've got to try these things. What's been your biggest gardening disaster? The worst thing that ever happened to me was about 15 years ago when I was starting to get reasonably good at growing stuff. I had a fantastic bed of veg going. Middle of summer, we had a freak thunderstorm. It put about 4 inches down of golf ball sized hailstones and absolutely annihilated everything. I got up to the plot and there was lettuces that were that big, and then when I got up there, they were spread out, they were smashed up to that, looked like coleslaw all over the soil. Cabbages smashed a bit, strawberry plants, even everything in the pond, all the water lilies were just absolutely obliterated. So that's the biggest disaster, and that was just a freak of nature that did that. Do you have a tried and true crop variety that you always grow? Definitely. I always grow salad potatoes varieties, the French ones, Nicola and Charlotte. I'll never grow any other peas but Hurst Green Shaft, because I find them the best peas ever. I won't grow any other carrots but Sweet Candle. They're ideal for showing, but they're the sweetest carrots ever. What else have we got? I'm really struck upon these. I've got some drying behind me. These banana shallots, as you've seen me do videos. Zebrun from seed. That was something I only tried about 3 or 4 years ago, but they've been absolutely amazing. So I'll definitely continue with those. But other than that, I just use like RHS AGM varieties, which have been tried and tested over the years, and they always give everybody good results. What was that then? Number 8. Are you planning on trying anything new next year? I am actually. Tony from UK Here We Grow grew some artichokes this year, and he's kindly going to send me some, so he says. So I'm going to give artichokes a go. I've never even eaten an artichoke, so I wouldn't have a clue what they were like, but looking at his crop, they look absolutely amazing. And it's something I've never tried, and I will try something like that, because they seem a bit different anyway. They seem to grow really tall, and you just dig the tubers up like you would potatoes. So I'm going to try some artichokes next year. The Jerusalem ones, I think they're called, not the globe ones, the ones that are in the grounds where you eat the tubers. Number 9, how do you preserve your crops? To be honest, I don't. I just eat everything fresh. The only thing I freeze are peas, and I freeze those as soon as I pick them, because I find they freeze perfectly. I don't freeze things like beans and things like that, carrots, because I like things al dente. So, and when they come out of the freezer, I find they're all a bit soggy when you cook them. I don't really make a lot of preserves and jams and pickles and chutneys and stuff like that. I used to pickle beetroot and things, but ended up with like 50 jars in the cupboard, dating back to like the year 1930. You know, it's just. So I don't really. I just grow everything I use and eat it fresh. And finally, 10. What's your favourite meal to cook with the veg from your plot? Well, there's one thing that I just love, and that's the first new potatoes of the year. Little waxy new potatoes covered in butter, and then a bit later on with the first peas. So I would say that my favourite meal would be either lamb chops with new potatoes and peas, or a nice piece of fish with new potatoes and peas covered in butter. For me, you just can't beat the first new potatoes of the year once you've been eating the rubbish that you have to buy in the supermarkets all winter. So that's it, that's my 10 questions, and now I'm going to nominate 1 or 2 or 3 people. So I'm trying to think of people who haven't been nominated, who haven't done this video yet. And I don't think Blue Star Dave's done one, so it's Blue Star Dave. And also Bacon Soda, Brendan. We haven't heard much from Brendan for a while, so we'll go for Bacon Soda and Blue Star Dave. So that's me answering the 10 questions. I don't know whether you'll glean anything from it. That's it, folks. See you later.